One of the things I've noticed working with growing businesses, they think that they have a marketing problem. But after working through this pattern with business after business for decades, I can tell you that's usually not it. The real problem? They built things in the wrong order. They buy a CRM, maybe they get a new website, some automation tools, and now an AI software because it's the latest shiny thing. But here's what they don't realize. The software didn't fail them. They just started in the wrong place. The businesses that grow clean, they do it completely backwards. One of the things I've noticed working with growing businesses, especially in the 2 million to 20 million annual revenue range, is they think that they have a marketing problem. They're growing, but it's getting harder. And they think they need better marketing or better leads and better people. And I get it. That's what it looks like. But after working through this pattern with business after business for decades, I can tell you that's usually not it. The real problem? They built things in the wrong order. And what I've found is that the businesses that figure this out, they're not smarter. They're not working harder. They just build things in a different order. Let me show you what I mean. Here's what keeps happening. Somebody's business is doing well, but they want to grow it. So what do? They look for the path of least resistance, which is usually technology. They buy a CRM, maybe they get a new website, some automation tools, and now an AI software because it's the latest shiny thing. It feels good because they feel like they're taking action. They can see it and they can show people, look, we're doing something. 6 months later, they're still having the same conversation. The messaging still doesn't feel right. We're getting leads, but they're the wrong ones. The team isn't really using the system. So they start thinking, well, maybe we need a different software. But here's what they don't realize. The software didn't fail them. They just started in the wrong place. Most people build like this. They buy the technology first, then they try to figure out how the technology works and the best way they can make it work for them. Then they realize, oh, we need to train people on this. And if they're lucky, somewhere down the line, they stop to ask, wait, what are we actually trying to do here? And I get why it happens that way. I was guilty of that as well. Technology is easy to buy. It's concrete. You could point to it. But here's what usually happens. First 2 months, they're setting up the software with no clear direction and only following what their vendor recommends and tells them to do. Next couple of months, they're repositioning things and writing content that sounds like everybody else. By month 6, they're redoing everything because none of it actually fits who they are or who they serve. They didn't mess up the execution. They just built on sand. I see this pattern consistently. People buy CRMs before they document how trust gets built. They launch websites before they know who they're not for. They invest in marketing before they clarify the outcome their ideal clients are buying. And you see the same thing in agencies, in SaaS providers, and even service businesses too. The businesses that grow clean, they do it completely backwards. First, they identify their vision. Then, they communicate that vision to their people. Then, with their people, they start identifying the outcome their ideal clients really want, and then reverse engineer every step to create the best experience with every touch point. Then, and only then, do they use technology to help implement the processes. I don't mean that in a fluffy way. I mean it practically. Vision means you know the dream outcome your ideal customer is buying, not your service, the outcome. What do they stop worrying about by working with you? People means you know exactly who your target audiences are and the best way to segment them so you could communicate with each segmented group in a way that resonates most with them. Not demographics, their situations, their problems, and even how they think. Process means you and your team know how trust gets built. Not funnels, not automations, but what has to happen for someone to go from stranger to becoming a loyal client? And the technology is just the tool that makes all that easier. When you get the order right, technology is simple. But when you get it wrong, technology just makes the confusion that much louder. This is also why most marketing AI content just sounds terrible. Everybody's like, AI doesn't get my voice. Of course it doesn't. AI just doesn't have anything to work with. If your vision is vague, if you don't really know who you're for, and if your process is fuzzy, AI is going to give you generic stuff because that's all it has. But when you give AI a complete roadmap with a clear outcome, a real understanding of how your people think, a documented way trust gets built, now it will sound like you and your brand. It's not always the tools. It's what you put into it. Here's an easy check you can follow. If any of this sounds familiar, it's because you started with technology. Your team doesn't use the CRM consistently. Your website looks nice, but it attracts the wrong people. You've switched marketing people probably 3 times, and your content could be copy and pasted from any competitor. That's not an execution problem. That's a foundation problem. But here's what's interesting. You don't have to burn it all down. You can just start with this one sentence. After someone works with you, what do they stop worrying about? Not what you do, not your process, but the outcome. That one sentence changes everything. Because once you know that, you'll know who needs it. Once you know who needs it, you'll know how to build trust with them. And once you know how to build trust with them, the technology is obvious. Vision, people, process, and then technology in that order. And by the way, technology is only the last 10% piece of the puzzle. If you're running a business and this is hitting home, here's what I recommend. Don't just watch this once and move on. This is only one piece of a bigger framework I break down every single week. Next week, I'm covering why partner alignment breaks at scale. And it's not what most people think. The week after that, we're talking about the intake problem that's killing client quality without you realizing it. This stuff compounds. One insight builds on top of the last one. So here's what you need to do. Subscribe if you want these insights when they go live. YouTube buries content otherwise, so turn on notifications so you actually see them. Sadly, most people watch one video, nod their head, and nothing changes. The people who actually fix this, they watch the pattern unfold over time. They see how these pieces connect, and they take one thing they learned per week and apply it. That's how you go from, I think I have a marketing problem, to, oh, I see exactly what needs to change. And if you're at the point where you want to talk through how this applies to your specific business, look at the link in the description and we can talk through it. See you next week.